Welcome back to the Black Carnivore podcast, and I am really excited to be here tonight with Sharmyka, who is a member of the Black Carnivore community and been, doing great on the carnivore diet. So I'm excited to hear all about how she learned about it, how she's doing it, what she thinks, and and all the success she's having. So let's dive right in. Quick announcement. I will no longer be premiering these long-form interview videos on YouTube. Instead, you can listen to the audio wherever you listen to your podcasts, or you can watch the full video on my Patreon channel. The link will be in the description below. If you'll miss the live chat feature, make sure to join us on Thursday's live stream every week. So Sharmyka, why don't you tell me, first, what's your diet history? Why were you even, looking at this?
I had tried keto and was extremely unsuccessful because of the carbs, and they were just destroying me. And so I have a friend who was very successful on keto, and I was telling her, I gained a lot of weight. I was in a relationship and I was cooking all the time, and it was just in about a year, I'd put on about 40 pounds, and I was very uncomfortable. And so my friend who was doing keto, had mentioned trying keto again. And I told her, every time I've tried it, I just failed. I didn't feel like failing at anything. So I didn't want to do that. And so she mentioned that carnivore might work for me. And so she suggested that we would do it for a week. She would help me along, what have you. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. I'm working from home. There's nothing to lose but weight. So why not? And
when was that?
We started November 16th of 2020.
And when you were doing keto, did you just have a lot of carb cravings that were hard to resist, and then you were dating someone who you were cooking for, and that person liked to eat carby food, so it was just too many cravings. Too much temptation, and
it was. The food tasted really good, and so then I would have this problem of wanting more, and it got out of control. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't to get a handle on it.
Mm-hmm. So November 16th, you decided to, take the plunge and try it for a week.
Yeah, I went and bought, I think it was some steaks and some beef cheek and a bunch of eggs.
Wow. Okay, so beef cheek is a little bit daring. So in your first week, you decided to jump all the way in, doing nose to tail and everything.
Yeah, my family is country, so my family is from Arkansas, so I'm very accustomed to eating parts of things that maybe most people are, squeamish about. So it was. I'd always wanted to learn how to make barbacoa, so that was okay, go for it. Yeah. And so I did that, and the first week, it was so easy. There was so much less thinking about it. I thought about food constantly, before. And so I didn't have to think as much about what am I going to eat, what am I going to eat next? And then what about after that, And so it was just much easier. I think the first week I lost 10 pounds.
Wow. So that must have really boosted your, your interest and your willingness to go forward.
Yeah. So after the first week, she was like, okay, back to keto. I was like, no, I think I'm going to stay here.
That's awesome. Did she try to come back to carnivore, or did she just stick with keto?
She sticks with keto. She has kids in the house, and so there's always carbs, and so she's able to do better with just having a little instead of none. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I stayed with it.
So tell us, what do you eat? What does your day of carnivore look like?
Most days I'll eat about like this week it's been mostly ribeyes. Kroger had a great sale, so I got a bunch of ribeyes. So this week it's been a ribeye, and one day I had shrimp with it. The other day I had bone marrow. Just whatever little things on the side. But most days I'm one meal a day.
Mm-hmm.
Some days, like today, I didn't have time to get my steak up to room temperature and all that. So I had bacon and eggs for breakfast, and just a little while ago I put some oxtails in the oven, and I trimmed off all the fat and I put that in the oven. So I had like I guess beef cracklings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Liver, I've done sweetbreads, I've done I want to try beef intestine. I like tripe. Anything beef. I think one day I went to a Vietnamese store and found the label said cow knuckles.
Okay. Wow. Well, I mean, hey, I love your adventurous spirit.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, are you still in Arkansas, or are you somewhere else?
No, my family's from Arkansas. I'm from Houston. I live in Houston.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Houston.
Yeah.
So it must be pretty easy to find lots of stuff out there, lots of different types of beef and everything.
Oh yeah, Houston is very diverse, and I happen to live in an extremely diverse area. There's Nigerian markets, Vietnamese markets, Chinese, Caribbean, and Indian are all in my area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can find just about anything except beef trimmings. I cannot find them anywhere.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm in the same boat. You've definitely heard my story. Like, I ordered some from White Oak Pastures. Someone else sent me some, and I've got another place that is sending me some. So, yeah, I haven't had much luck. And I'm in Brooklyn, and, the area has gentrified around me, so, it's not very diverse anymore. So, yeah, I can't find a lot of stuff around here. But yeah. So what's your favorite thing?
My favorite, I would have to say, is a ribeye, or what's it called? The chuck eye steak.
Yeah.
Those two are my
solid.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Those are my favorite.
And I would say oxtails are my favorite. So I'm surprised that you ate some yesterday and still feel like ribeye is superior.
I like beef cheek better than oxtails.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has like the same, because oxtails are really beefy, which I always loved about them. But the cheek has even more of that taste. I like it. Like I said, I have oxtails in the oven right now, so I still love them, and they used to be my favorite, but they're not.
All right, good enough. Good enough. I know that I've had beef bacon that was made from the cheek. I mean, I remember reading that like you can make bacon from like the belly, but also the cheek, and that's like a common. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah. So how did you feel like in the very beginning, and then how do you feel now?
In the beginning, I was in a lot of pain. It was hard for me to do anything. Washing dishes was a chore. My back hurt. My knees hurt. I was swollen and puffy, and it was bad. I was starting to experience a lot of swelling on my ankles and feet. And that was the back pain and the swelling were what caused me to reach out to my friend, and ask her,
And this was the
actually I didn't
quarantine
ask her anything. I
40.
was just complaining. But
This was the quarantine 40 that you had gained?
I can't blame it on the quarantine.
Okay.
I wish I could, but I can't. It was just, I love to cook. I love food. I love to cook. And my ex loved to eat, and he would bring me all kind of things. And I was, okay, let me go cook. And so as I cooked, the weight just kept piling on,
Right.
It wasn't the quarantine. And then, I don't know, he was, when I started and I told him, I'm not comfortable. I have to do something. And I told him I was going to do the week of, carnivore eating. And, he started to feel a little uncomfortable with my weight loss and all of that.
Oh, man.
All of that.
Right.
And so, yeah, I left him in last year.
That's good. That was the best 200 pounds you probably ever lost.
It is. It was all of that.
And now you're working on your health and your well-being, and that's excellent.
Yes.
So you were in a lot of pain and inflamed and all of that. Did you have other health problems, or were you otherwise pretty healthy?
No, I don't have any issues. I don't have high blood pressure or diabetes. None of that. I'm always strangely healthy.
Okay.
When I started, I was at 355 pounds. And I've been that weight before. And then I would always go to low carb to lose it, but it was always a yo-yo for me.
Why was that? Why were you not able to maintain low carb, or did you not think that low carb was something that you could stay on?
I don't think I really had a problem staying with it, other than just my love of food. I would go and break the diet, my way of eating, for a birthday party or a baby shower or, just a craving. Back then I would have menstrual cravings and all of that. And I would eat a sleeve of Oreos and a pint of ice cream and then feel horrible about myself. And
Good times.
the little negative thought would creep in. Oh, you done messed it up again. And then I would just eat to make myself feel better about eating. I don't know what that is, but I would fall off. But I would always come back and do it again. Each time I think this is like my third or fourth time. I've lost about 100 pounds each time.
Wow. That's hard to do. I mean, to lose 100 pounds and to do it multiple times, that's a lot of hard work.
Yeah. Hopefully, I feel like this time though is different. Like when I slip up, because it does happen, I don't feel guilty like I did, because it's so much easier now to just okay, I did that. Tomorrow's a new day. I have my food, and it's gonna be okay. I don't go through that same cycle anymore. I don't know if maybe because I will say that my mental clarity is better, a lot better. I don't get those down feelings like I used to.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I think that's like one of the best parts about carnivore is how good you feel, and how much like my brain just works better. It just
Much better.
does work better. Yeah. And it really is such a boost to the mood. Like you would think that you're like on, on something, like to just suddenly like feel good. And, walking down the street, it's like, oh, it's nice to be alive. I feel good. Yeah.
Beautiful day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, so you got going on it, and how long did you go before? Have you had a cheat meal or a cheat day, and how long did you go before doing that?
The first time, it wasn't a decided thing. I didn't set aside a cheat day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The first time, though, I would say I was about 3 weeks in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was invited to some kind of dinner get-together thing. And I just wasn't at the place where I was comfortable explaining what I was doing to people. I didn't, yeah. I hate questions like, oh, what's that? Why aren't you eating anything else? I didn't want to feel interrogated. So I just hid and ate like everybody else was eating. Mm-hmm. And I felt horrible the next day. Like I felt yucky. Mm-hmm. My feet started swelling up and, all of that. And so after that, I was like, I'm not willing to feel like this to make someone else comfortable. So yeah. I didn't do that. But after that, I've had, I think like 2 days that I've slipped up. So 3 days total in about 4 months.
But that's really important to learn that. I mean, that first time that you felt sort of pressured, or the social pressure to eat so that you don't have to explain yourself, like a lot of people go through that for a much longer time before they finally before they finally get over that and just commit to being carnivore in public and in private. So yeah. For me, in the beginning of it too, I was just kind of like, oh, well, I don't want to have to answer all these questions and blah, blah, blah. Right. So I'm really impressed that it only happened that one time. And then you were willing to say, okay, this is what I'm doing for me. And, it doesn't matter what other people have to say.
Yeah. My circle of friends already, I've always tried different ways of eating. So they're always like, oh, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
So it wasn't that hard for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good. I mean, I definitely got, I guess I've done a lot of like social justice activism type work. And in that, community, it's all about being a vegan, a vegetarian. So people kind of look at me like, oh, I thought you cared about the earth, or, I thought you were, conscious and woke. So it's like, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I did a vegetarian diet for about 7 months 2 years ago, and I liked it. It was cool, but then there was the parts that I didn't like. Like I had to cook so much, and I had to eat so often because vegetables do not stick with you at all. Like they're just it was. I was always eating. I was always cooking. And then I figured out that French fries are vegetarian. And so are onion rings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I started gaining the weight on a vegetarian diet, and I was like, this is dumb. Yeah. I'm not doing this.
I mean, I think probably the biggest, the most helpful thing about carnivore versus keto is that it cuts out all the stuff that people cheat with on keto, or not cheat with, but like, all the Franken foods or the pretend foods that ultimately lead you down to the actual item. So, all the artificial sweeteners, the desserts and the treats and the, crackers and things made from the nut flours and all of that stuff. Like it just, it doesn't end well, usually for me anyway. So
I spent so much time Googling, things. Like, can I have this? What's in this? How many carbs is it? What are the net carbs? And I didn't have time.
Yeah. So, all right. So you got on keto. Keto on the brain. You got on carnivore, and you've been really going strong with it. And the inflammation is coming down. The pain is coming down. You've got this mental clarity and good mood. So, what do your friends and family say now? Are they noticing like the difference in your, demeanor and everything?
Yes. As a matter of fact, several people have noticed and asked, what are you doing? On social media, I would post, I've always posted food pictures of things that I've prepared. And so, I didn't think too many people would notice that there weren't any other sides on my plate. I would just, hey, look, I cooked the steak, or I learned how to make barbacoa this week, and whatever. So I didn't think people would notice the missing carbs, and they did. So people started asking, are you only eating meat? And so I was like, yeah, I am. And I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to be healthier, what have you. And they started asking questions. So then I started, posting the progress on the scale. I would weigh myself and take a picture of my feet on the scale, and the number started going down. And so then that started additional questions like, you can actually lose weight eating steak every day? And I was like, apparently so. I didn't know it either, but yeah, you can. And so now I have two friends that are also doing it along with me. I started a group chat with them, and we keep each other encouraged, and we're all losing weight together. They're doing awesome as well. I have another friend that's supposed to start today, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are single-handedly bringing the message out there.
I'm trying.
Nice.
Oh, and my sister is also doing it with me. My sister lives with me. She has multiple sclerosis, and I did some research, and it was, reported to be really helpful for people with MS. And so she's doing it along with me, although, I'm trying to help her ease into it. So she's not strict carnivore, but
well, I would love to hear about, how she's doing. Like, MS is really, that's a big thing. And, my stepmother has it. And I never, with family especially, I never know whether to push and say, hey, there's actually something that you could really try that's really different. But she's been like a lifelong vegetarian. So, as has my dad. So I don't know. But, yeah, her condition is deteriorating. So, but I'd love to hear how your sister is doing with it.
She's doing really good. When she first moved here with me, it's kind of a sad story. She found out she had MS because she one day was no longer able to walk. Wow. And it had been presenting itself, but nobody caught it. Like, she lost her vision in one eye at one time, and then she lost the ability to swallow. But, it was like different weird things popping up, and the doctors didn't catch it. And so one day she wasn't able to walk anymore, and she was put in the hospital, and they figured it out. You have MS. So she was in the rehab for about a month and got out. And I think she got out in December. And in January, her husband died. And so she was at home by herself, unable to walk. So I had her moved here with me. And, being that I was 355 pounds, I didn't want to be in the house with carbs.
Yeah.
So, we had to have a conversation, and I told her, like, there's no carbs here, and I can't be around them because I don't want to weigh that much. It's painful. It's not good for me. I don't want to be that. And
Right.
so I told her, I got some really good food though, if you want a steak. So, that's how it went. She was like, okay, I guess I could do steak every day, and so that's what we were doing. And, she had high blood pressure. Her blood pressure is beautiful now.
Wow.
She had swelling as well. That's gone down. So she's reaping the benefits as well.
Wow.
She
That's
Now she
great.
doesn't love it the way I do, but she's still benefiting.
Wow. That's really amazing. All right.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've like made your whole world like keto carnivore. You got 4 friends. Well, 3 friends on it. 1 more starting today. Your sister is on it. So your whole world is just all carnivore. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Well, when you can orchestrate your life to, to be filled with the things that are important to you, that is awesome. Very impressive.
Yeah. Thank
So,
you.
so tell me, how is, so what are the benefits that you're seeing? Like, how much weight have you lost? How do you feel now? Are you getting some new clothes? What is that looking like?
So I've lost 40 pounds.
Yes.
Uh,
Right.
yeah.
Very impressive.
I'm at 315 pounds now. My clothes look horrible on me. So I'm at the point where, okay, I'm gonna buckle, but I figured I would just go to thrift stores. I'm not at the place where where I'm finished. So I don't want to really buy a lot of clothing that I'm not gonna be in long. So I figured I'd go thrifting and get some things. But yeah, I'm happy. I've never had like self-esteem issues or body issues. Like, I've always been into myself. But I do like the improvement. I will say that there have been some improvements that I'm definitely happy with. I also noticed that the way I lose weight is different this time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more compact than the other times I'd lost weight. Like, I'm tighter around the middle, and my butt looks a little better, and yeah. So it's like, okay, I like this. So my next step is incorporating exercise, because exercise was very difficult. I mean, I gave out doing nothing. So now I'm at the place where I can incorporate exercise without feeling like I'm gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
So I started walking with a friend. Then the snowstorm happened. But I had started walking with a friend. The first couple times, I'd say I was able to do a mile and a half. I'm up to 3 miles now. I can complete 3 miles now. Yeah.
That's amazing. And so you're walking 3 miles and nothing hurts.
Nothing but my feet.
All right. So it hasn't. How long has it been since the snowstorm? It's been like a couple weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah.
So you went from 0 to 3 miles in a couple weeks.
No, I started walking with her before the snowstorm.
Oh, okay. I see.
And then the snowstorm hit, and
gotcha.
Now my work schedule, I don't get off till 6 in the evening, and it's dark, so we're waiting on daylight savings to be able to walk,
Gotcha.
after I get off of work. But like, I'll go to the park with her on the weekends, and we'll
Nice.
get whatever we can in.
So now nothing hurts. There's no swelling, no pain or anything.
None of it.
That's a really big deal.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to happen that fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess, every little bit is less pressure on my knees. My knees were even slipping out of the sockets when I would walk. Yeah.
That sounds like it hurts.
It was scary. Yeah, it wasn't as painful as it was scary. Mm-hmm. I was afraid that if I, took a misstep, I was going to mess my knees up. I didn't know, I've had a shoulder dislocate, and it's, getting it back where it's supposed to be. So I was terrified of making the wrong step because I didn't want that to happen in my knees, trying to get it back. No.
Yeah.
So I can walk confidently. I'm not afraid of walking anymore. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I think that's a common comment about the weight loss. How quickly people start to feel less pain and less swelling, and are able to do exercise, how quickly that happens given the amount of weight loss, because, you start to feel better quite quickly. And I noticed for myself, like when I first went keto, I probably hadn't lost more than like 10 pounds, but I could still feel like, wow, my knees don't hurt so much. My back doesn't hurt so much. And it was like, that's not a lot of weight for suddenly everything to feel so much better. But that's a sign about how much inflammation and how much damage is going on in the body, and how much is being corrected by the change in eating. So,
yes, I especially enjoy, how quickly my body, if I slip up, my body quickly recovers, because I go back the next day, and it's like, okay, thank you. I didn't like what you did to me yesterday.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like you are addicted to sugar? Is that kind of what's going on with you? I don't know if you had seen that the episode that I had done a couple of weeks ago with the with Florence Christophers, the person who does coaching on sugar addiction.
No, I didn't catch that one, and I'm usually out catching them. I'll have to go back and check that out. But no.
She kind of talked about sugar and carb addiction, and not just like, oh, I love this stuff, it's so good, but like the changes that it makes in the brain. And so you've spoken a number of times about how difficult it is for you to manage your carb consumption. So that's what made me think that, that maybe you're having that problem.
Carbs. Sugar wasn't my.
What is your kind of? Yeah, what is your kind of carb things? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, bread, pasta, that kind of. I love rice and potatoes and all of it. All of it.
Yeah.
But I noticed now, like the other day, I got caught out at the hospital pharmacy. I thought it was going to be a quick run. I was going to go pick up my sister's meds and, be right back. So I didn't eat before I left. I wasn't hungry yet. And so I ended up at the hospital for about 8 hours. And when I left, I was already
8 hours. Wow.
Yeah. And I was already at 18 hours into my fast. And so by the time it ended, I was at 26, 27 hours. I was starving. And then I ended up in traffic trying to get home.
Oh,
and there was a Taco Bell. So, yeah, I did that. And I immediately felt not full.
Yeah.
The feeling of fullness is different. I felt like, okay, I know I ate what I would have eaten before I started carnivore. and yet I don't feel full. I still feel like I could go in there and eat a steak. The fullness is different. It feels empty somehow, even though I know my stomach is full. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't even like the texture of it anymore. And that was like at Taco Bell. My thing was chalupas, the little crunchy, chewy outside bread, and that was, I used to love it. But the other day I was just like, I don't even like this anymore. It was so strange. It was so strange because I never thought that I would feel that way. But I was actually took a sleep aid that night because I was like, I'm done with today. I don't want to go back to the kitchen. Today is done. Let's get ourselves into tomorrow.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, but you're learning from each of these episodes. You're learning how your body responds and why you're doing it and kind of how to deal with it. So when you were starving, could you have made it home? I mean, how much longer did it take? How hungry were you? Could you have made it?
I wouldn't have died. I know that.
Yeah.
I could have made it. I could have. Houston traffic, is so iffy. I did not want to be hungry another 2 hours, and it could have taken that.
Right.
I didn't want to be hungry. And I crossed over, I'm like, 2 hours, not bad. I can do that. But I had never gone past 24 before. I'd never done that. And I didn't like it.
Yeah. So what you're going to have to do is use my code Black Carnivore and order a box of Carnivore Crisps so that you can always have something in the car just in case.
Okay,
sorry,
I sure will do that.
I had to do that commercial break.
I appreciate it.
Actually, I just finished this container, Carnivore Crisps. So this is the chicken breast. And it's basically just jerky. And but they have lots of different flavors.
The brisket was wonderful.
Oh god, yeah, the brisket flavor is my favorite, even more than the ribeye. But yeah, it's very good.
I also tried liver. I didn't care for the liver.
You tried which one?
Liver.
Yeah, my dog ate the better part of that one. Yeah.
And I love liver, but I prefer it cooked on the stove.
Yeah, I don't. Liver and I, love and hate. Love and hate. Yeah.
I love it. I just don't like it dried.
Yeah. So, but truthfully though, making sure that you have stuff on hand for those sorts of emergencies is really important. I mean, going 26 hours is awesome, but you do eventually need to eat. So, I would definitely look into getting something like that.
It did leave me a little curious. I know I've seen people mention fasting longer than 24 hours, 32, 72. And it left me curious, can I do that? I did go 26 hours without killing anybody,
Yeah. So I try it again.
I'm trying to push it. Yeah.
A lot of people do 36 hours, so that's just like the whole day plus the night, so you're not eating until the following morning. So you're going a whole day without eating. So that's an idea.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try that soon.
Yeah. Have you tested your blood sugar?
No, I haven't.
So that can be helpful to do, because one of the things that can happen is if you're going fasting too long, your blood sugar can drop really low and you can not feel so good. So that's, something you can look at. It's not a requirement, but, that might be helpful.
Yeah. I'll try it. I've always had, normal blood sugar, so I never even
Well,
thought
it's
of
not about
testing.
it. Yeah, it's not about it being abnormal. It's just that, it's a way of telling if you've gone too long fasting. So your blood sugar will drop when you've gone too long and you need food again.
That sounds
So
really good.
yeah, definitely. I don't know if I've done a video on that specifically, but yeah. But I can tell you some things that, a product that you might want to try and see, to look at. And, it's kind of interesting to look at blood sugar because that's something that, you can see changes in it, even if you're not, if you're not in the pre-diabetic range. So you kind of get a sense of like how your body is handling sugar, especially if it takes a long time for your blood sugar to come down after you eat, so
Mm-hmm.
it can be good to test that to see how quickly it recovers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I wanted to ask, have you ever made jerky, or you haven't done carnivore. You're working from home, you said, so you haven't done carnivore where you need to like be out and about.
No,
Right.
I
So,
haven't.
yeah. So, I had the fun of trying to figure that out. And, it is hard because I like a hot meal and I like freshly cooked meat. I don't like reheated, meat or anything. So that was a little bit of a challenge for me. So I am enjoying working from home. But have you
Yeah.
thought about that? What might you have?
Yes, because I feel now that the vaccine is out and, I'm in Texas, they've lifted the mask mandate, people are starting to join society again. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how much longer I will be working from home. And so it has been on my mind, like, how am I gonna cook a steak in the break room, because that's usually when I eat. I usually eat around lunchtime, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I've tried thinking about, changing the time that I eat and
Mm-hmm.
just eating after I get home. It would make, fasting easier. Um, but I I also do a lot of slow cooker
Mm-hmm.
food, like oxtails and beef cheek and those kinds of things. So I figured that would just be what I would do. Burger patties, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Because um, I if it's not that, I don't know what I would do. Because I don't like reheated steak. The only thing I will say is I do like I'll save my steak bones and I will like warm them up. And after I got like two or three of them, I'll just sit there gnawing on bones.
What? Um, okay. Okay.
You know that connective tissue on the
Yeah.
bone? I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that. And so
Okay.
I'll save my steak bones and, I make sure to leave a little meat on them.
Uh-huh.
And once I have like two or three of them, I'll warm them up and just sit there and eat steak bones.
That's awesome. Okay. All right. I know my dog would definitely look very angrily at me because I'd be eating her thing.
Oh,
Because she gets the bones and loves to pull the meat off the bones and then eat the bones themselves. So,
yeah.
but yeah, that's good stuff. So, okay, so that's one possible portable meal, but I think that'd be the kind of thing where your coworkers would definitely be complaining. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not going to take steak bones to work.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, I'd love to hear what you kind of figure out. Because I think that's a challenge for everybody. A lot of people struggle with it. I did make like a lot of stews and that sort of thing that I could put in. I used to put them in like a mason jar and bring that with me to work, and that's something that you can sort of reheat. But most things I just it was just kind of like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like beef soup bones, and I forgot to mention, I the most adventurous thing for me was I bought a cow heart, and I cooked it in the pressure cooker, and I did a tongue too. That was delicious. But I figured the soup bones would work for work as well, because I like simmering the soup bones with a heart in the pot, because the heart seems to make the broth really good. So
really, okay,
yeah, figured I could take that to work too.
Nice. All right. Well, you do have a broad taste, so I am glad that you like so many different types of things. So it's easy for you to get in the organ meats.
Yeah, I'm gonna try beef intestines next.
Have you made that before? Have you made chitlins before?
Oh yes.
Okay. So you kind of get the idea about how to make them, because I don't know. I've never made either, so I don't know.
I have it all planned out in my head.
Okay. Please make sure you post pictures. I definitely want to see that.
Okay. Yeah. I definitely will. The recipe that I found that caused me to want to try it, they're actually fried until they're crispy.
Oh wow, that sounds good.
And they look really appetizing. They don't look like they sound. So I'm gonna try that and fry them and get them crispy and see how that goes. I don't know what the taste is going to be like, though. Okay.
So have you gone out to a restaurant where you were able to stay on plan and stay carnivore? So what kind of restaurants do you go to?
Steakhouses. I go to Mexican restaurants.
What do you get at Mexican restaurants?
The one I go to, they have these skewers. And the skewers come with beef, chunks of beef, and vegetables. And so I just flick off the vegetables and eat the chunks of meat. I've gone to wing places, and I'll get like either plain wings, or when I'm me and dairy. So I'll do garlic parmesan sometimes. Yeah. But I found that, most restaurants have some kind of meat on the menu, and I'll just ask them, just don't bring me any sides. I'll ask, is there any sauce? If so, I don't want any sauce, But yeah, that was my thing. I love restaurants. I love, foods of different cultures. So I didn't want to not be able to do what I love to do. Right. So I just figured I just ask for what I want, bring me some meat.
Yeah. And
they look at me really like, are you sure? Because, you don't get a discount for not getting sides. I'm positive.
I mean, I find it hard. We had our carnivore meetup on Saturday, and we went to a barbecue place, and there was only one thing on the menu that I could really have. Everything had a glaze or some kind of sauce on it, and they put the sauce in before, so there was no way to like not put the sauce on and get it, without it. And I obviously. But
Like,
there was a
down here, it's an insult to put sauce all over your barbecues. Like, no, it doesn't come with it.
yeah. Well, yeah, that would be great. You know, the place that I normally go to that's closer to my house, they had a fire and are closed now until spring, and who knows if they'll ever open again. So I went to a different place, but, you know, I guess people's tastes, like, they just, you know, people want sugar. So it's in everything, and it's really hard to get anything that doesn't have it. So the brisket was the only thing that only had salt and pepper. And I know it had something else on it, because to me it tasted like mustard. But it definitely, yeah. I was just like, oh man, don't you know meat is good on its own? It doesn't need anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll say the hardest thing for me to let go of is onion powder and garlic powder. Mm. Those two. But I've done a lot better. You know, I wanted to see if I'd never tasted meat without onion and garlic. Yeah. You know, it was unheard of. Like, what's wrong?
So wait, what? So you do have spices?
Without,
You do have spices on your food?
Not as much anymore. I've pretty much let go of it. Except for I'd say maybe once or twice a week. I'll put a little, but it used to be, you know, I used to be like, okay, I'm not giving up spices. No.
So you have had so you've had a salt only beef meal.
Oh yes.
And what do you think? Does it taste like it's missing something?
No, it tastes more like it's supposed to me.
Huh. So then what do you feel like is calling you back with the other stuff?
Why sometimes we'll use it. Just sometimes it's my brain wanting something a little different. That's not too far out of the, you know, that's not going to take me out of the carnivore world. You know, I don't want to eat carbs or anything, but I do get mentally bored. Yeah. Without it sometimes. But I think as I continue, I'm noticing that happens less and less. Now, the one struggle that I have is beverage boredom. I'm sick of water.
Well, so what do you drink? Is it just water, or do you have coffee, or what?
No, I gave up coffee because I don't like coffee with sweetener, and I like sweet coffee. So I'm not gonna put sweet and low in my coffee. I would put sugar, and so no coffee.
Okay. But did you notice a difference going off coffee? Like, what changed for you there?
I didn't need it anymore. It was like, you know, if I drank coffee, it would just be to drink coffee. And when I drank coffee, it was just because I was sleepy all the time, because I was tired all the time, because I was eating bad, you know. Right. And so now I don't need coffee. So it wasn't hard to give it up because I had the energy I was using coffee for.
Gotcha.
But every so often I'll drink a Diet Dr. Pepper, or I'll drink hibiscus tea with some sweet and low, even though I think that tastes horrible.
How about with no sweetener?
I never tried it without sweetener.
Yeah, I used to like celestial seasonings like Red Zinger, that's essentially hibiscus tea, or Tazo passion fruit, that flavor, with no sweetener, just
it water. Never occurred to me. I didn't realize you could do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And or I make iced tea, like I'll put it in a tall glass and I'll put it in the fridge for 2 hours, and then I'll have, a glass of iced tea with no sweetener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
I do like diet soda, but I'm not a soda person.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a soda person, so it was always juice for me.
Yeah.
Fruit punch and fruit juice and things like that. Tea.
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
artificial sweeteners can be, can be problematic. So, as little as you can drink them, I would definitely say, stay off of it as much as you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're drinking water and water and an occasional diet soda.
Yeah.
What about sparkling water? Do you like that?
You mean the kind that doesn't have anything without the sweetener?
Yeah, just bubbles. LaCroix, like that's a popular one. Poland Springs, they have all these different flavors.
Is that like seltzer water or is that different?
It's seltzer water. But, with flavors like grapefruit or blackberry or,
Oh, well, I could try it with some kind of flavor.
Yeah. I mean, they're not sweet. They're not sweet.
Okay. I can try it. I don't know if I will like it or not. I can definitely try it, as long as it sounds like I could do it if there's some flavor to it. Like I like those, those White Claw, is that what they're called? Those little
the hard seltzer. Yeah.
Yeah, I like those. So if it's similar to that, I could do that.
Well, it's like that, but without the alcohol.
I don't need alcohol.
I mean, I think they probably taste a bit sweeter because of the alcohol. So, I don't know. But so, I mean, seltzer has become a thing, and I never did like it, but one day, I just, like you, I had beverage boredom and I just felt like I wanted something to drink that was different. So I bought peach pear seltzer, the LaCroix flavored peach pear. And I don't know, maybe it was just a hot day, but I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever drunk. Oh my God. And it became my favorite flavor for a long while. And I used to drink it all the time. But at the beginning of the pandemic, I just kind of stopped buying water. I just kind of felt like with all that's going on and who knows what's happening in the world, like I don't need to be spending money on water, when I have a kitchen tap. But then I missed seltzer. But I had gotten out of drinking like the flavored kind and I just didn't like it anymore. So now I finally bought a SodaStream, which is, just a way to carbonate water at home, tap water. And I have it without flavor. But the carbonation is, is an acid. So it gives it a slightly acidic flavor. Like, it doesn't taste like lemon, but, like, it gives you a similar feel in your mouth as if there were something acidic in it, like lemon. So that might help you. It's, like, a slightly different, feel in the mouth than just plain tap water.
Right.
Yeah.
I did try the hint water. I like those.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I was worried about it because of the fruit juice in it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. I would try like the sparkling waters and with the different flavors. Give that a try. Okay. And Hal's has that might be a New York brand, but they have a cola flavor. So it tastes like Coca-Cola, but not sweet. That was actually one of my absolute favorites, but it was hard to find. And yeah, it was hard to find, and they only had it seasonally, so I didn't, I couldn't always find it, and I haven't seen it. Like, I think the last time I saw a bottle was like maybe in November. So. Yeah, I don't know. But the beverage fatigue is a real thing, so that's why I ask you about it, because a lot of people struggle with that, and that's important.
That's my biggest struggle.
Yeah. So, and then, like you said, bread and stuff was your thing. I know I've seen, like, floating around the Facebook group, like, people making, like, that bread from the egg and making, like, the pudding and stuff, the egg pudding. Did you try those? Do you care about, like, replicating bread, or are you okay without it?
I tried chaffles.
Well, that's magical.
I didn't like it.
Oh, really? Okay. Why? No, tell me why.
It was probably operator error. I have no problem admitting that. But it was eggier than I wanted it to be. So I just started doing cheese and melting the cheese in the little dash. But dairy, I found, slows me down incredibly. So I avoid all of. I stopped doing that. I saw the egg loaf, and it looks interesting. I want to try that. Although I will admit that the chaffles have prejudiced me greatly against trying to replicate bread.
I mean, I've seen pictures and it looks very bread-like, and I've heard people spread butter on it like bread. So I don't know.
Like it. So I said I'm going to try it. I haven't gotten up the nerve yet, just because I don't want to bite into a slab of egg. But yeah, I'm gonna try it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me know. Let me know how you think. I haven't tried it. I have not made the egg loaf. I'm not making I don't really like pudding that much. I'm not going to make that. But the chaffles was one thing. Like, when that craze happened, I was so bummed, because, like, it just seems like the perfect food. Like, if that was something that I would have made and be able to take to work and eat for breakfast at work. Like, and it, and being able to put all your favorite things in one thing and then bake it, it was like, this is perfect. But the cheese was definitely a problem for me. But I have heard that people make them without cheese, so I don't know. I could have tried it, but I didn't.
Yeah, and then I kind of got in my head, and I was like, do you want to give up bread or not? Like, when I did the vegetarian thing, I avoided things that tasted like meat. I didn't want to, do that. Right. Like, if you're going to be vegetarian, enjoy your vegetables.
Yeah.
So I don't want to, and I'm enjoying, what I'm doing. So I don't want to, honesty.
Yes.
I'm afraid that if I try egg loaf or some kind of bread substitute, it's going to send me to the store for a loaf of bread.
Yeah. That's a very real concern, and I think that you are absolutely right to be concerned about that. Yeah, it could. Yeah. And I think it's interesting. Like, some people are bread people and some people are sugar people, and I was definitely a sugar person. But I was taking a course. Sort of a course about emotional eating, and so this woman was talking about how people who focus on bread, like the carbohydrates in that, tend to stimulate serotonin, and so it functions kind of like essentially an antidepressant and a painkiller. It's like a combo of a Tylenol and an antidepressant. And whereas the people who focus on the sugar are looking for that dopamine rush, which is, like a different kind of high. It's not like that contentedness and comfort, but, kind of a high and a thrill. And so that's interesting. So it would seem to me like if you're, if you're getting into the bread, you might well be like, yeah, I need a real loaf of bread and a blanket and a cushy couch and, something brain numbing to watch on TV.
Yeah. And it was crazy. I used to sell cakes.
Oh, God.
Let me tell you. I got a couple cake orders around Thanksgiving, Christmas. The hardest thing I've ever had to do during carnivore was not lick the spoon.
Oh.
So I would mix.
But you did it.
I did it. I mixed the cake. I ran a sink of dishwater. And as soon as I poured that cake into the pan, I throw the spoon in.
Oh, my goodness. But you did it. Wow. And how did the cakes turn out?
I don't know. I didn't eat them. Well, let me say my customers loved them.
Okay, so there were no complaints.
No.
Excellent. Excellent. So, yeah, I know. A lot of times, that was definitely something I heard a lot during the holiday season. And it was just kind of like, you've made these cakes like 10 years in a row. Like, you know what they taste like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, good. I'm glad that you were able to do that. And that is so unbelievably impressive. So, you're right. And moving, why replicate something that is a problem for you? Like, there's no benefit there. And how has your life changed? Like, now that you feel better, have more energy, like what looks different in your life?
I kind of am coming to terms with myself mentally. I finally was able to recognize the fact that I am a food addict. I use food not just for fuel. I use it to get through everything. Happy, sad, upset, angry, you name it, I'm going to eat. I eat because I'm bored. I eat, I just eat. And so I've really learned a lot about myself. I feel like I've almost gone through the 12 steps of Do they have Overeaters Anonymous?
Mm-hmm. And Food Addicts Anonymous. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I realized that is me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for it because I don't think about food all the time anymore. I feel like I've been released from some kind of weird food prison. I'm more outgoing. I'm a huge introvert. 4 months ago, there would be no way I would sit here talking to you because I don't know you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it.
It would give me great anxiety. My anxiety is better. I do have anxiety. My anxiety is better. I'm more outgoing. I'm not afraid of people in conversations. I've met new people, as a matter of fact, during the pandemic, albeit online, Yeah, I think those are the biggest changes for me. Just not thinking about food all the time and being able to put myself out there and have conversations.
I mean, those are some pretty big changes.
They are for me. That's
sure. And, so now it's sounding like you are, walking after work. So does that mean like less sitting and watching TV or, are you?
Yes, I'm much more active around the house.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've even started thinking about canceling some subscriptions because like I'm paying for Netflix and, I recently got Discovery Plus and like watch them once a month, maybe 2-3 times a month. Like,
yeah.
And I figured, maybe I could repurpose that money to like some kind of trainer or, something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not sedentary.
So do you have any hobbies or things that you always wanted to do but didn't have the courage to do?
No, not really. But what I would like to do is find somebody to play tetherball with. I love tetherball.
Seems like you could do that.
Yeah. So, I figured once maybe if I can get one of my friends to try it with me, that'd be great. But if not, I know not a lot of people have tetherball dreams. So if I can find
are you in a house? Like, do you have a tetherball thing set up in the backyard?
No, I'm in an apartment currently, but I did Google it, and there are some parks in the area that have a tetherball pole.
Wow. So I wonder if there's you could even put an ad up in Craigslist or maybe go on meetup.com,
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there was a commercial for Facebook groups, and they would have people who, what was it? Jump rope or it was something,
double dutch.
Something. Yeah, they have groups for that. So I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll start a tetherball group and see who wants to come play. Yeah,
I bet you there are quite a few, and maybe you could start a local one in in Houston, and then maybe that would be awesome. So by July I want to hear you entering a tetherball tournament.
Okay. I might have to create the tournament too, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there could be lots of people out there just like you, loving tetherball.
Yeah. It was something else. I also wanted to try to find the water aerobics class maybe at the Y. It was something else I wanted. Oh, roller skating. I used to really want to be. Back when I was 5 or 6, roller skating was it. And
yes.
Larry Graham, 1 in a Million. That song was out then, and I would see people skating backwards and crossing their legs and doing so smooth with it, right? So I was like, I don't know, maybe I could learn how to skate as an adult. I used to skate as a kid, but I'm 46 now. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you can, you'll remember a bit of it. And I don't know about going backwards and doing the tricks and all, but certainly you can do a loop and feel pretty good about it. But that's really cool. So, that's really exciting. A year ago, last summer, you wouldn't have thought that you would be planning a tetherball, roller skating, outdoorsy life with no TV.
No, not at all. Under no circumstance.
So carnivore really can change a lot. You start by getting healthier and losing weight, but you end as a different person altogether.
Yeah, with a flourish.
Yes. I like that, with a flourish. Yeah. Well, I started my Instagram and then YouTube channel. I was like, I've got all this extra time. What am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
Let me start making videos. Yeah.
Which I will tell you, your videos have helped my friends as well, because they're like, give me a grocery list, and I'm like, watch this video.
Yeah. I'm going to have to make more of those food lists, because I think people struggle with that. And, it's funny, I don't think of myself as a cook. I don't take pleasure in cooking, but I like to eat good food, and there's no other way to get it other than me cooking it. So,
right.
but I feel like I need to help out.
Really enjoyable for me because I don't spend as much time in there. It's cook the steak and get out. Throw something in the slow cooker and get out. Like I'm not in. I used to be in the kitchen at least 4 or 5 hours a day because I cook all the meals.
Yeah. I totally agree. And like when I used to try to get 5 to 7 servings of vegetables, like I'd get all these different colored vegetables and I'd be chopping them all up and getting them all prepared, and it took forever. Yeah. So yeah,
less dishes.
Yeah. So less cleaning, less time in the kitchen, more time for you to spend doing other stuff. And that's awesome.
Yeah.
So this has been a really amazing conversation. And I love how you are influencing the people around you so that they are getting healthier and really seeing the benefits of following a carnivore diet. So you are quite an evangelist.
Thank you. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I appreciate everything you're doing. It's been really helpful to me.
I'm so glad. That was really the whole point of it. I just want people to get healthy and get well and be able to, get out there and do the things that they are passionate about. And so I'm excited to hear about how you bring tetherball to the world.
I'm hoping maybe somebody will want to, come on in and play tetherball with me. We'll see.
Somebody will. I'm sure of it. So for everybody who's watching, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode, and definitely, watch for Sharmyka's posts on Instagram and on the Facebook group, and and let's and keep an eye out for her and what she's up to, and hopefully this summer we'll see lots of fun pictures and posts of all of the roller skating and other fun stuff she's doing. All right, everybody, have a great night, and I will see you all soon.